So in this video, we're going to talk about selecting objects. So it's important to know how to select objects and deselect objects so that you can look at their properties and even edit them. You'll see when I pick on an object, like you saw in the previous video, it highlights that object in a particular color, and this color in my case is orange. You also notice on the Project Explorer that it highlights that object. Now, if I click on the object from here, it's selecting that object as well. Now, not everything shows up in the Project Explorer. In the case of some of the line work, such as this property line, all you have to do is left click on it, and you'll see that now I've selected that property line, or that line that is our property line. Now, if I click on the surface again, you'll see that it deselects the property line. If I just left click anywhere in the plan view, it deselects all the objects. Now, if you look down here on the status bar, there's this 0. That shows you what objects or how many objects you have selected. So if I select the point, you can see I've got one object selected. If I hold my Shift or Control key down, I can select on multiple objects. So if I click on the surface, you'll see that now I have 3 objects selected because I've selected the point, the line, and the surface. If I left click in the 3D view, it deselects the objects. Now, in the case of objects that are close together or on top of one another, such as these lines down here, if I left click here, you'll see that it gets a window that pops out. So it shows you basically what objects that you just left clicked on. Basically, I have the surface, and I have some CAD polylines, and some other CAD polylines. So the difference between these is, if you take a look at them, some of them are named, and what you see in brackets is the layer. So this is the name of the object and then the layer that it's on. So if I want to select the bottom of curb on the stake layer, then I would pick and select this, and that's going to highlight and pick up that bottom of curb line. If I left click again, and this time click in the same spot, if I click here, you'll see that it's got 1B and 1A, and I've got my gutter pan. So if I click on this one, you'll see it picks up the gutter pan in that particular case. If you want to select a bunch of objects, you have a couple different options. If you look on the status bar as well, you'll see that I've got a rectangular select, which is here, and I've got a polygon select. The rectangular select basically is you left click and hold your left mouse button down and drag a window from upper left to lower right, and that's going to select everything within the window. If I left click, it deselects. Now, if I do that and I only cover a portion of the objects, it's only going to pick up the objects that are completely encased by that rectangle. So this is a window selection. If I go from lower left to upper right and I get this dashed rectangle, what that does is it picks up everything that that rectangle crossed. So you can see that I picked up more information by going in this direction. So if I don't completely encompass everything and only do a portion of it, as long as that line crosses that rectangle, then it will be selected. Now, if you switch this to polygon select, you left click the first spot and hold your left mouse button down, drag to the second point, and then let go of the left mouse button. And now I can click and choose a polygon selection. And when you get to the end, you simply right click and press enter, and it selects everything that was in that polygon. And this works the same way as if I was to go from basically a counterclockwise direction. This is a crossing polygon. So you can either double left click or right click and select enter. So again, going in a counterclockwise direction, I'm crossing. Going in a clockwise direction, it's a window. There's some other selection options up here where you can get into some more advanced selection. You can select by layer. So if I choose this option here, I could say I want to see everything on the curb 1A, and that selects all of those objects just on that layer. And I could also say I want the sidewalk. So this allows you to pick both of those objects using the by layer command. We'll cover some more selection as we get into the rest of the course.